Good evening. My name is Raymond, and this evening I want to be talking about how people with disabilities will impact our future if we do not educate ourselves on how to help. How does your work impact disability communities? Do you allocate funds and budget for accessibility or excessive needs? Do you have disability representation within your staff and board of directors? Are you material 508 compliant and available in plain language format? 508 compliant basically means it is a government website that by law has been appointed to people with disabilities, where it is accessible and it is safe for them to use. Do you incorporate these disability justice frameworks in your work? Finally, these questions that I'm asking you is something that I think that you should ask yourself each and every day. When you step out, when you're out and you're in the public and you see people with disabilities, instead of feeling sorry for them, just kind of think about how you can help out, because most of those guys are really wanting to be independent, but we just have to be educated and know that they are. All right. This evening, I'm going to explain to you the essentials of us being better prepared to help with disabilities. It is important that we share this, and the reason why I think it's important that we share it is because many of us don't realize, when you think of disability, what that entails. Most of us, we have warped perception in terms of what it means to be disabled. According to census.gov, the percentage of children with disabilities increased between 2008 to 2019 from 3.9% to 4.3%, according to the CDC government. 26% of adults have some type of disability. Back in 2012, there was a synopsis that was taken where there were so many people that were applying for Social Security because of disability. It actually struck a chord with the government, thinking that it was going to be an issue in the future for people that will apply for Social Security. So you can understand why it's really important that we somehow dive in to see how we can actually assist and be a help to this growing trend of people with disabilities in the United States. The key problem areas with people with disabilities are accessibility in education, access to health care, myths and stereotypes, feelings of being ignored, lack of employment, feeling incompetent, teased, and abused, being patronized in relationships. These are some of the things that on a regular basis, if you're looking at it generally, these are things that people will people will kind of see and do when it comes to people with disabilities when they don't understand. Okay, how do we help? How can we get involved? Okay, how do we solve the growing problem? And we're gonna require nationwide mandatory training for law enforcement on dealing with disabled people. Package a policy to reduce work desensitives. And then we're going to pledge to appoint disabled people to the administrative places where they can actually see how they actually operate, and you can actually hear from their mouth, from their experience, on how you can help them. I have a board here. My vision board is I want to bring up here because I had some numbers here that I wanted to share. And on my vision board, it just kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking at here. When I say the 26% here, that actually equates to 61 million people with disabilities here in America, okay? Right here's the percentage of adults with functional disability types. And that would go from mobility, cognitive, independent living, hearing, vision, self-care. When you look at all of those things right here, it's something that we don't think about every day, is because we are able to do all the things that I just listed here. But think about the people that don't have that ability. This is the reason why I'm talking. This is the reason why my organization, I feel, would be helpful. The ARC is what we have solicited to for over 70 years. They have been instrumental in fighting for civil rights as it relates to people with disabilities. They have been fighting for health care for kids with disabilities. And definitely want to mention that as it relates to them receiving the proper guidance when it comes to law, we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing by that. The ARC has been very instrumental in making sure they have stood in the gap, and they fought for. There are other organizations that have branched out from the ARC that has actually also started in view of trying to help with disability acts and different things like that. Now, if you look here, it talks about having obesity, smoke, have heart disease, have diabetes. Those percentages, they look small, but if you look at 26%, that's 61 million people. Think about what the percentages mean for these people right here, okay? And so if we look at that and we see that that is an issue and it's continuously growing because every day somebody's in an accident, somebody's catching COVID every day, okay? And so we do have to look at how we can actually help. Now, how do we help? I'm glad you asked that question, okay? I actually put it right here. Public health is for all of us. This is ways that we can actually help out. We promote healthy living. We monitor public health data. We do researching and reducing health disparities, building inclusive health programs, improving access to health care. These things right here, I think, would be great things that we can actually do on our own in terms of educating ourselves and learning how to help with people with disabilities. Other ways you can do it, you can actually go to the ARC's website, and there are 3 tabs there where you can actually donate. One of the tabs is going to be financially. One is volunteer, where you can volunteer your time. I think it's an important piece to go out and volunteer, because if you volunteer, you will have hands-on and visual on how it actually works, how you can actually learn, and it gives you a concrete and defined definition and a definitive definition in terms of who they are, how they operate, how they function from day to day. Now, if you are open, and the third one is going to be, this is something that's been going on for years, because I've known the ARC for some years, and the third one is donating a car. And you know, you can donate an old car, a car that maybe your kid had, and they went and bought a new car after college, and they gave you the car back. You can actually take that car and donate it, and they can actually use that to actually help benefit the financial side of people with disabilities, or maybe someone that needs a car and needs to drive. They can probably do that as well with that. And so I want to encourage you to really educate and just think to yourself, like I said before in the beginning, just think about those questions and how you can be a help to people with disabilities, whether it be special needs, whether it be people that are not accessible to mobility, and different things that I've just said here on this visual board. And I'm sure that if we did that, we would be a great help. The ARC really would look forward to seeing you put more of a hand into making sure that you are educated and that you are informed. And also, just, you know, if you have finances that can actually go and contribute towards this, please do so. If you have any clothing, you can donate to their thrift, and they will be glad to take it in. And so if you are available to do this, please avail yourself and make yourself available to the ARC Foundation, and be a willing participate to donate your time, your finance, and even maybe a car. Thank you very much.